Hello everyone, today I'm going to be unboxing and building the Weikav Record Alice V2. So this keyboard does start at $99 to $105 depending on what color you get, and this keyboard is unfortunately bare bones only, meaning it does not come with keycaps or switches. So the colors that we have are black bare bones, silver bare bones, white bare bones, red bare bones, and pink bare bones. The reason as to why there is a difference in pricings between colors is because some colors use a electrophoresis coating and some colors use a anodized coating. This keyboard is tri-mode connectivity and it also has a 3000 mAh long-lasting battery. As mentioned before, there is an electrophoresis coating or an anodized coating depending on which color you choose. What's really nice is that this keyboard is VIA compatible, meaning you can program the keyboard to your own liking. You can change the RGB, you can add in hotkeys, keybinds, whatever you want, and this can all be done through the VIA website. So the Record Alice V2 is a 65% Alice layout. One of its key features is the fact that it does have a leaf spring mount. It is CNC anodized or electrophoresis. It's hot swappable, has south-facing RGB, 3000 mAh battery, and VIA compatible, like I said before. 67 keys in the total layout. It has just the usual Alice split layout. There is a anodized aluminum weight on the back with the engraving record, which is a very nice touch. Here we just have buzzwords like innovative leaf spring mounted structure. It's just a near typical leaf spring mounted structure. And then elevated stability with beryllium copper shrapnel. I'm sure it does a small part when it comes to stability, but honestly it's nothing that special. Here we have expertly engineered internal configuration. It's just a normal keyboard. There's dynamic RGB lighting, and then also, like mentioned before, there are a lot of different colors. And then these are a couple of real shots of the keyboard. As you can tell, it is a really beautiful and unique keyboard, and this back weight looks really nice with the custom engraving. And just a little overview about what's in the box. We have the actual keyboard, the cable, keycap and switch puller, 2.4 GHz receiver, a dust cover, a user manual, a screwdriver, on and off switch. So as for the tech specs, you do have tri-mode connectivity, so wired 2.4 GHz and Bluetooth 5.0. The material is 6063 aluminum. The surfacing or coating is electrophoresis and anodized. The acoustics, they just have a bunch of foam, pour-on foam, IXPE pads, things like that. The weight is approximately 1300 grams or 2.86 pounds around, which is a little bit more than 1 kilogram. The compatible systems are Windows and Mac. The polling rate is 1000 Hertz for wired and 2.4 gigahertz, or it's 125 Hertz for Bluetooth. The battery is 3000 mAh, and of course the software is VIA. So now that we've done a little tech spec review, we can finally go into this unboxing. And just looking at this outside box, it is a really nice box. I do hope that the amount of effort that went into designing this box is comparable to the design and functionality of the actual keyboard. So let's start with this unboxing. I do expect this unboxing to be pretty typical. So as we open this thing up, yeah, okay. The first thing we see is our instruction manual. Please do not throw this away because it does have your instructions and what you need to do to connect your keyboard to your device. And I'm not sure if this is posted online. Next, of course, we have our keyboard, but before that, we do have our typical accessories of a cable and our keycap switch puller, as well as our screwdriver, a grenade pin. I'm not too sure what this is. Maybe this is for the leaf spring mount, and our 2.4 gigahertz dongle here. So now that we have fully unboxed this keyboard, we can get into the finer details. There is a RGB slit right here, RGB light diffuser. There is a polycarbonate plate, your on and off switch, as well as your stabilizers. These stabilizers do have a fair bit of wobble in their slots, but this can be fixed with a tape mod later. Turning this around, please ignore the sweaty fingers. You have your record weight here, and then you have your rubber feet. I do believe that these rubber feet, so these rubber feet are hiding your screw slots. So this is a screwless design. You will have to take off these rubber feet to actually open your keyboard. And please do be careful about taking this one off. It is particularly hard to put back on. I'm not sure if that was just for my design or anyone else's. I'm not sure if it's universal, but just that's something to be careful about. So now that we have our keyboard actually open, let's break a couple things down. We can see our gasket mount right here. It's pretty, not our gasket mount, sorry, our leaf spring mount. Our leaf spring mount is actually really good. There is a lot of flex. We can see it under here. So there is a ribbon cable connected, as well as our typical keyboard connections for our RGB. Just be careful with this ribbon cable. It could get easily damaged. There's nothing on the back here, but there is some cheap plate foam, and then these are our ribbon connectors, and they do use these gaskets here to connect back into the board. There's our polycarbonate plate, and then in between here is our plate foam. So now I will start lubing the stabilizers, and as I mentioned before, there is some rattle in the actual stabilizers itself, like the base. For example, look here. But then in stabilizers like these ones, there is a lot less rattle. I will be lubing these tabs with dielectric grease and 205G. Now, I'll be putting in HMX Gachapon switches. These switches are really good because they're more on the neutral side between Clacky and Thocky, and they just have a really nice, pleasant sound. I will also be putting on these keycaps that I found on AliExpress. Now, after the keyboard is finally finished, it is time to do everyone's favorite part, the sound test.